My name is Carina and welcome to the Carina Chronicles. It is time to vote for the Goodreads Choice Awards, and I'm going to take you through the whole process of voting for me. So when you see this, there has already been an award show, like the winners are known, but not to me yet. So I'm going to take you through the opening round, the final round, and all the final winners. I'm going to give you my opinions on if they are any good, any bad, what my predictions are, if I was right, and what I think about anything of them, and if I'm going to read them. I plan on reading all the winners, so I probably will read them, but how soon? That is the question. Let's start. I've tested the program, everything is supposed to work, so I'm going to get through this Goodreads Choice Award 2022 first round. I'm doing this pretty late because I really had no time. So I already actually took a sneak peek, and I know there's again only one book of all the nominees that I've read. I know I'm not very good at reading books the moment they come out. I'm just not really interested in doing that, except for obviously the authors I see as my favorite authors. Then it makes sense for me, but for the other books, not. There are a lot on my TBR, and some of those books I actually already own, even. So I plan on reading them semi soon, but not soon enough for this Choice Award. I am going to vote anyway. I know some people really hate that. I can understand. But I just think it's really fun. And I think this Goodreads Choice Awards is indeed a popularity contest, but that is the point. And I just still like to vote which book I think shows the most of 2022, which was mentioned the most, which is the book that I feel like, yeah, that really made me think of 2022 because that was the year that that book came out or something. You understand what I mean? So that's my plan. I'm still going to vote. The only section with the book that I actually read, I'm just going to vote for the book that I read, just because it wasn't even the best book ever, but I'm just going to vote for it. Is that weird? Maybe it is, but that is the plan. So last year my video was like 45 minutes or even longer, so I'm going to through this a little bit more quickly now. I'm just going to say for which one I'm going to vote and why. So we have Best Fiction. Oh, it takes some time to load because I'm uh, recording at the same time and my laptop is like, okay, but that is a little bit too difficult for me. So I already see in those first eight no books that I actually really know. This one I heard of, and I am quite interested in. This one, Our Missing Hearts, is Reese's Book Club, and I read all those books eventually. This one, To Paradise, is one I've heard great stories about, and we sell quite a lot. Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow is a book that I've seen everybody raving about, and I love Frederick Beckman always. And I'm happy that he wrote the third part in Bear Town. As I said, I've read none of them. I think Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow is going to win. I think I'm going to vote for Frederick Beckman because I'm most excited that that one is in here. Vote. Mystery and thriller. I don't think I've ever read many mystery thrillers, but okay. Ruth Ware is always very popular. Oh, I'm also going to mention which book I think will win. For the last one, it was Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow. I think, although Frederick Beckman also always has a chance, and Celeste Ng also, but I think it's Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow. Ruth Ware has a very high chance of winning this one. The Bullet That Missed is the Thursday Murder Club Part 3, and Part 1 and 2 were very popular. Everyone says Part 2 is better than Part 3. But I think that one has a high chance of actually winning this. Wrong Place, Wrong Time, I've heard great things about. It's again a Reese Witherspoon book club pick. So eventually I will try to read that one. Um, I am excited for this one. I want to read that trilogy still, but I think for now I'm going to vote for Wrong Place, Wrong Time because that one interests me the most. Historical fiction. Well, we know Taylor Jenkins Reid is probably going to win because she wins every year. I've heard a lot of great things about Violetta by Isabel Allende. Allende, sorry. Lessons in Chemistry is a book that my aunt recommended to me and my whole family read. So that is really cool. Uh, I am really interested in that one. The other ones I don't really know a lot about. Kate Quinn I've read. Um, another book by. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Taylor Jenkins Reid, so I should vote for this one. I'm also very interested in this one. So that would be an interesting choice. But Taylor Jenkins Reid is going to win anyway. I think I'm going to vote for. No, I'm going to vote for Taylor Jenkins Reid. Because that one I will also definitely read. And I know I will like it because I like all her books. So, best fantasy. Well, here, of course, are a lot of books that I at least heard about. So, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, I've heard great things about, but that is not going to get my vote. The Atlas Styx is on my TBR, but I actually heard not so great things about it. So, that is interesting. Electra, uh, I have talked about with my colleague because that person read this and was quite interested, but also thought it was hmm, a little bit too much or something. A River Enchanted is by Rebecca Ross. I read, well, The Queen's Rising this year, and I really liked it, so I really need to read something else by Rebecca Ross. Brandon Sanderson always wins, so he will probably win this one as well. Stephen King Fairy Tale. I'm very curious that Fairy Tale is in uh, fantasy, but okay. Well, that one I heard a lot about. That one I heard a lot about. This one is like to me the surprise of the year. A very random book that I heard great things about. Probably Sarah J. Maas will win, as always. I own this book, but I haven't read it yet. But probably this one will win. Babel, of course, also got so much hype, and I haven't read it yet, but I definitely will. It's definitely on my TBR. I think almost half of these books are on my TBR, but I've read none of them. This one I own. That's like the closest I got to reading one, but I'm not going to vote for Sarah J. Maas. Babel is the one I am most curious about, but Legends and Lattes is the one that I like the most that it's on here. So I think I'm going to vote for Legends and Lattes. Okay. Then we go to romance. Will Emily Henry be there? Oh, not even. No, not at the beginning. I always think that Colleen Hoover is not really romance. I like her book. Like I wanted to say her books, but I only read one. Uh, Ailey Hazelwood, well, I didn't hear that many great things. There is Emily Henry. It Starts With Us is definitely on my TBR because I loved It Ends With Us a lot. So I think I'm going to vote for that one. Uh, even though Book Lovers is also very high on my TBR, I'm very interested in that one. And all these books I've heard about, so at least it is really popular. So let's continue with science fiction, one of my favorite genres actually. All these books I've never heard about. Literally. Oh, Upgrade I've heard about. And No Never Ninth I've also heard about. Uh, well, I'm not really interested in any of these. That is bad, right? I think I'm going to vote for Upgrade then, because I am willing to try Blake Crouch. So maybe this one will be the first. Best horror. I never read horror. I did hear about some of them, um, but I'm still surprised by this. I think I heard about this one. Is that possible? I don't know for sure. Okay, this one is based on Frankenstein. I haven't heard about any of these books, so I'm going to vote for Frankenstein. That is random, I know. Humor. Uh, I don't know. I also really haven't heard about these. This is the only one I've heard about, and it has a great rating. So I'm going to vote for that one. I also couldn't really tell you which ones were going to win in horror and humor because I really don't know the books. I haven't heard about them. In science fiction, it will probably be Blake Crouch, and in romance, it will probably be Queen Hoover because there are just some authors that are really popular on Goodreads. Best non-fiction. Is there anything in here that I know? No. Oh, this one I do. Oh yes, I like that one. I read parts of it in the bookstore because we sell it. I also think that one could win. I'm not sure, but I think it could. Mostly, oh, The Taste of Poison I've also heard about, and that apparently is also a very good one. So maybe that one. I don't know, but I'm voting for What If because I've actually read some parts of it. Best memoir and autobiography. I know this one. It's going to be this one. I've heard everyone raving about this book. I really need to read it. I am so surprised that this person that people don't really know of, only of iCarly, made a memoir and everyone's like, this is the best memoir I've ever read. I really think it's going to win. There are, of course, some contenders like Matthew Perry from Friends and Alan Rickman from Harry Potter. Of course, they are both very popular, so they could win as well because the fandom just votes for them. But if there's one book that I feel like I have heard about everywhere, which you really couldn't see coming, it was not like a highly anticipated release, then it's I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. I am really, really curious about this book. I really need to read it. History and biography. Is there anything again? It's so weird that I don't know any of these books. I always feel bad. Like, these are the most popular books, apparently, of the year, and I haven't heard about any of them. Literally, any of them. I don't know which one speaks to me at all. No idea. Yeah, his name is George Floyd. I at least know who George Floyd is, so maybe that's the best vote then. Graphic novels and comics. I also don't know which one is going to win. Maybe he is going to win. But yeah, don't know. Heartstopper Volume 4. We're at graphic novels and comics. I've read Heartstopper 1 this year, and I really loved it. It's one of my favorite books of the year, so this would be like a fitting vote for me. I also still want to read Laura Olympus and Saga, so I'm happy that they are nominated. Demon in the Wood, I've heard great things about, but it's just come out really literally just so. I didn't have the time to read it. I don't think any other people that much the time to read it. I'm going to vote for Heartstopper. I can't wait for volume 5, actually. Poetry. Well, that I didn't read at all this year. Any poetry. I always vote for Amanda Lovelace because I read some of her poems and I really liked them. So I'm voting for it this time again. But I also do think she's going to win. She won a lot. Oh, maybe Time is a Mother because Ocean Vuong is a very popular author. She could very well win this round. A debut novel, which I always think is cool. I heard about Cleopatra and Frankenstein. I heard about Daughter of the Moon Goddess, Lessons in Chemistry. I already voted for it in another round. I don't want to vote for the same 2 times, even though I read it already. Maybe Daughter of the Moon Goddess, although I heard it's quite disappointing. This one was already translated everywhere as well, but I haven't really. This is not really my vibe, I feel like. I'm going for the fantasy one. Young adult fiction. Is there anything? Oh, the first to die. As long as the lemon trees grow. Definitely that one. Definitely that one. I haven't read it yet, but I talked with the author and I made my aunt read it and she was like, this is incredible. I'm also really excited about this one. I think this one might win. Although the next part in We Were Liars also could win, but I'm voting for As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. With no doubt at all. Young adult fantasy and science fiction. I probably have a lot on my TBR. Well, that is quite alright actually. Bloodmarked, I have Legendborn on my TBR. Skyward, I have on my TBR. Hotel Magnifique, I heard a lot about before it came out, but not afterwards, so that's not a good sign. Stephanie Garber is probably going to win because everyone is excited that she's writing something new. The author of Caraval. This is the second part in a new series. There are actually a lot of very popular authors in here. I'm very excited that Marissa Meyer wrote the second part to Gilded, but I haven't read Gilded yet and Cursed either. So Violet Made of Thorns, I also talked with the author and I was really excited. And I can't wait to read the book next year. I am going to read it quite soon, but I haven't read it yet. The only book I've read in all of these nominees is Galen by V.E. Schwab, so I'm going to vote for that one. There's a high chance that she's going to win anyway, even though I think this is her least impressive book. I still think she could win because it's V.E. Schwab, but there are a lot of very popular authors in here, so she has some competition. And then middle grade and children's. There's always Rick Riordan in here. I say, and then I don't see any. Whoa, is this the first time there's no Rick Riordan? Whoa. So I've heard great things about Amai. I am actually curious to read that. And I haven't heard that much about all the other books in here, so I'm going to vote for Amai, and I'm very impressed there's no Rick Riordan in here. Did he write no books this year or something? So that was actually it. I am going to vote for the next round in a few days because on the 29th, so that is next Tuesday for me, you see this video as a whole, there is a final round, so the books that were voted for most go to the next round and we can vote again. So I'm excited and I hope you are too. See you in a few seconds. Hi, it is time to vote in the final round of the Goodreads Choice Award. I am late Today's the last day that I can vote, so I'm really excited. You can see that I'm in my office, and there used to be a lot of books here, but they're now all in my bookcase. So we know I have some room to grow still because all these are very empty. But it looks a little bit sad now, I'm sorry. I'm going through this quickly because I know that all the books that are on here I've already talked about. So I'm only going to show you if I'm surprised or not and which one I'm going to vote for. Although, remarkably, Bright Creatures is not a book that I remember being on Best Fiction. But let's quickly start. Okay, this one is new to me. Maybe I missed it in the first one. I am not surprised Frederick Beckman is on here tomorrow. And tomorrow is one that I'm not surprised is on here. And this one I'm also not surprised. I don't remember if I voted for this one because this is a book that is really fitting to me for this year because I've heard so many people talk about it. Or if I chose this one because it's an author I really like, but I think the last one. So I'm voting for that one. Mystery and thriller I already almost knew none. Um, this one I heard about, this one I heard about. And this one I heard great things about, and I think I voted for that one, and I'm going to do that again. It could be very well possible that I vote for books that I first decided to vote for another one. I don't really know, but I'm just voting for what I feel like. And I think for this one it will be Taylor Jenkins Reid. I remember thinking I voted for this one and then changing my opinion last minute. I'm happy they're both still in here, but I am voting for Taylor Jenkins Reid because I just love her writing style. Fantasy, Brenda Sanderson is in here, of course. I am surprised, but also not that the Atlas 6 is in here. Oh, it's nice that Legends and Lattice is still here. There are so many popular authors in here, it's incredible. It really is incredible that this is also still surviving. I don't think it will win, but I will definitely try to make it win. Romance, where's Emily Henry? It is still here. I'm going to vote for Emily Henry. Well, these are no surprises. Literally, all these books we even have in our Dutch bookstore, which is with most of the other nominees, that's not the case. Then they're usually not that popular in the Netherlands. But romance books, it's like our top romance books as well, so I'm not surprised at all. Best science fiction, I don't know what I voted for. I think Blake Crouch, because I wanted to read Blake Crouch. Also not surprised that one is still on there. Horror, I think I chose the Frankenstein one. It was with the house or something. Yeah, this one. I think I voted for that one. Juniper and Thorn. I don't know if it was in the first one because I did hear things about it, but they were not very positive. So I'm still voting for the Frankenstein one. Humor, I have no clue. Nothing really shows like, oh, I really want this one. This sounds funny. I think I voted for that one because it's the only one I recognize, but I'm voting for this one now because it sounds funny. Non-fiction. Oh yeah, I voted for this one because I am interested in that book. Okay. Best memory and autobiography, definitely this one. This is the book I like. If there would be a best of the best, I think that one should win for this year because it was such a surprise to everyone and everyone seems to love it. Best history and biography, I don't remember which one I voted on. The Dark Queens sounds cool. I'm voting for the Dark Queens. This is getting random, but I don't know. I think I voted for Heartstopper in graphic novel. I will be surprised if it's not in here. Ah, there it is. Definitely voting for Heartstopper. Poetry, Amanda Good. And not Amanda Gorman. Amanda Lovelace, that's what I meant. Is there anything worth noticing? Not really. Debut novel. Uh, oh, I don't think. Was it this one that I voted for? Or is the one that I voted for out? I'm voting for this one out. That is random, but I am going to do that. Young adult fiction. I don't think Loveless deserves to be here. Loveless already existed. It's just a different copy, different version. I don't think the one that I wanted is in here either. Oh, well, okay. This one maybe? Oh, that is a surprise. I don't know which one was it. I will look it back, but it is a surprise. Oh, Gavin, the only book that I've read. So, the only book that I just need to vote for. Middle grade and children's. I think I voted for Amai, and I will do so again. So, that was actually it. Hello. It's time to look at the winners and make my final conclusions and my final opinions about this. So I'm really excited to see. It took me a while before I could film this, so I tried my best to not get to not get spoiled. But all the winners are below, I see. So let's quickly start with this. For fiction, I'm already happy because tomorrow, and tomorrow is not the one I voted for. I guess I don't even remember which one I voted for, but I don't think it was this one. I think it was. Oh yeah, thank you for this. It was Frederick Beckman because I know that author and I know that I really like his books. But I'm happy with Tomorrow, and Tomorrow because that is a book that was really visible this year, and that is why I like this Goodreads Choice Awards because I always hope to find books that were just really popular this year. It is a popularity contest, and see which ones people think are really, really worth it. And I was very curious to read this one. And as I'm trying to read all the books that are announced as winners, I'm happy with that one. Mystery and thriller, The Maid. I have heard about this one, but not that much that I was like completely sure which one it would be. It was quite close to Lucy Folly, which I thought would win. I hoped this one would win. Wrong place, wrong time. But that is mostly because of Books with Emily Fox, which is a booktube channel that I follow, and she was really, really excited about the book. Carrie Soto is back, best historical fiction, Taylor Jenkins read. I am excited because I love her books very much, so I would read this book anyway one day. I am also glad to see Lessons in Chemistry so high because I've heard amazing things about this book and I really want to read it. I have to admit, I will do a little bit of an outro where I talk about what I think of this Goodreads Choice Awards, and I would have loved to see a more really historical fiction because both of these I wouldn't count as historical fiction per se. I know I voted for Taylor Jenkins Reid myself, so I'm part of the problem. It's just hard to vote for a book that you know nothing about. So I forgive me a moment. I am not happy with this, but also not surprised. I mean, Legends and Lattes was quite high. Um, a lot of books that I'm interested in were quite high. I could have read all these and be very happy with my reading year. But I would have loved Babel to win just because I think Sarah J. Maas is not fantasy. I own this book. That is something. I've read part one of the series, and okay, it is a fantasy. It's more a fantasy than her other books, but it's still a romance plot in a fantasy world. And there are so many beautiful fantasies that add much more to a fantasy read than Sarah J. Maas, but well, whatever. Book Lovers won! Yay! I thought it would. And I didn't vote for it. I voted for it start with us. I am surprised about that because why did I do that? I don't know why I did that. I think because that book I'm definitely going to read and I'm very excited about, but I don't think it ends with us should categorize as a romance. So it starts with us probably also not. So I'm excited with book lovers. I like that Colleen Hoover didn't win, although she's second and third, because I don't think her romances are per se romances. Science fiction, Sea of Tranquility, I know nothing about it, but I will read it now one day. I voted for a grade. It's quite high, but well, this one won by quite some votes. Curious to see what it is about. Best horror, Hidden Pictures. I don't know. It's quite close again. I voted for this one, I remember, because it was a Frankenstein retelling. But I haven't read any of them, so for me it's even. The Office BFFs, Tales of the Office from Two Best Friends Who Were There. Okay. Oh, it's like literally about The Office, like the TV show. I haven't watched that. I've heard great things about it, but I haven't watched it. But maybe then before I read this book, I should watch the show. I don't know. Maybe I should. A non-fiction, Atlas of the Heart. Oh, well, that does sound cute. I like this one, but this one does sound cute, and it has a pretty cover. So, not mad about it. Memoir and autobiography, yes, thank you. This was the only one I had a very strong opinion about. If this one wouldn't win, I would be very surprised. I'm okay. It won by quite some votes. I'm also a little bit not sure what I need to think about Alan Rickman's diaries being published. So I'm glad that one didn't win because I'm a bit conflicted. Best history and biography, Bad Gays, a homosexual story. Okay, sure. Not mad about it again. Don't know anything about it. Heartstopper Volume 4. Well, I will definitely read that one, so I'm happy with it. There are quite some on here that I will read anyway as well. So, and also the rest I completely didn't know. Like Fangirl, I think part 1 is on my TBR, so I will one day read part 2 as well. Sarah, the same. This is an Grisha first, so I will read it. Laura Olympus is on my TBR, so it doesn't really matter. And Heartstopper, I read volume 1 this year, and I was very happy about it. Amanda Gorman, cool. I didn't actually know that she was writing a new, how do you say, poem collection. But I am happy to see that people liked it, although there are more votes than ratings. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm curious to read it. She's the one that did that talk at the inauguration of uh, Joe Biden. So that is interesting, I would say. Yay, Lessons in Chemistry won something. That is nice because I've heard so many great things. Like my whole family is in love with this book, so I should definitely read it. And I'm happy that it was so high. I didn't know it was a debut at first. Best Young Adult Fiction, The Final Gambit. I am surprised about that. That Alice Oseman didn't win and that The First to Die at the End didn't win. I voted for As Long as Lemon Trees Grow. I'm still behind my own point of view there, but okay, I'm going to read that one as well because the Inheritance Games is on my TBR, so part 3 as well. But I am a bit surprised about it. Young adult fantasy and science fiction. I am again part of the problem because this one was not so good and I voted for it anyway, and now it won. I'm sorry. I should have voted for something that I didn't know yet. But yeah, well, this just is weird. This was the only book of all the nominees that I've read, so I wanted it to win. And well, it won. And Miss Bindlegrade and Children, I'm Quiet, a story for the introvert in all of us. That sounds cute. That really does sound cute. So happy that it won. So overall, not a bad score, I would say. So those were actually all my opinions and predictions on the Goodreads Choice Awards.
I'm quite happy with the books that won this year. I've heard of almost all of them, except for the genres that I don't read that often. But even like the autobiographies and stuff, I've heard about all the winners. So it's great. I do want to make a remark though. I don't think this award is very prestigious or anything of value. It only shows that people from Goodreads, which are mostly young adults, and also in like English speaking countries that use Goodreads, have heard of these books. I know that people vote for books that they haven't read. I am one of those people because I don't see why not. Because for me, this Goodreads Choice Awards is just a popularity contest to see which books were most talked about this year. And then you get those things as Taylor Jenkins Reid being chosen in historical fiction, while I'm like, it's taking place in a non-existent history. So I don't know if I really find that historical fiction, because not only is it fiction, also the history is fiction. I wouldn't place it as historical fiction, to be honest. Like, historical fictions are more like, for example, Octavia E. Butler writes historical fiction, but because she has science fiction in it, it is classified as science fiction. So that would never be like in this category. So genres are just a little bit fluid, just like human beings, and it is difficult to have winners there. I mean, Sarah J. Maas being first in fantasy will always break my heart. So I also noticed that a lot of this is primarily white authors, not very diverse at all. I find that a shame, but I fear that is the reflection of the people that are on Goodreads still. So that is a shame. I hope that will change. I hope with BookTube we can also let people see how many other great things, great books from more diverse authors are out there, and that one day the Goodreads Choice Awards will be more diverse as well. But for now, I hope you understand that for me, this Goodreads Choice Awards has no importance. I just really like lists, and this is a nice list of which on which I can contribute a little bit and see what other people think. I like that. I liked it as well this year. I hope you did too. If you like my video, please leave a like, and if you subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell, you will be notified whenever I post a new video. I hope you'll have a lovely day filled with books, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye! Were your favorite books of the year in the Goodreads Choice Awards? Are you happy with the books that were chosen? What do you think of the concept? Is it fun, or is it too arbitrary or something?